Hi everyone, this is Gail. I am back from vacation. I missed doing the hop for the new product, Reverse Confetti, so I thought since my products were here when I got home that I would do a project showing this, demonstrating the things that I have in this collection. And what I have now is a stamp set and a die set, and the name of it is Best Witches, W-I-T-C-H-E-S, for the little witch. And if you can want to see this, this is really a cute stamp set. It's got the little mummy and the witch and her kettle with the brew. There's some pinwheels. There's a magic wand with a star on the end. There's some stars, and then they have the sentiments says Best Witches. Under your spell. There's no mummy like you. Happy haunting. And then there, of course, there's candy. So I thought I would make a card using these items, and they're brand new. I just now took them out of the bag. So I don't know that I'll be using the dies this time. I may. I'll have to go off camera to do that because my die machine is somewhere else. But I thought I would at least start with the stamps. Now, I don't know about you, but I feel like stamps don't stamp well the first time. So I'm going to take some scrap, and I'm going to stamp each one of these 3 times to see... to make sure I get a clean stamp on my card. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the little mummy first. I love this mummy. He's so cute. And put him on my acrylic block. And I'm using Ranger Archival ink, just because that's the ink that I started with. I know there's some other great inks out there, but I really like this Archival ink. And I will try some of the other black inks. But anyway, I've heard that you need to stamp 3 times before you get a good clear stamp. So let's see if that's true. Alright, there's image number 1. It is a little faded there in the middle. So let me do image number 2 and just see how this one looks. That's better. Now let me do image number 3, and from what I've been told, image number 3 is the best. And if that's true, I will probably keep this little guy, this image rather, not the little guy. I'm going to keep him. And that looks good. So let me wipe this off. Let me get my baby wipe out. I don't know what you use to wipe off your stamps, but I use baby wipes in my clay. So I figured since I had it, I would use it for the stamps. And unless somebody tells me different, that's what I'll use. I know you shouldn't use anything with alcohol. Okay, well, I like this little guy. So let me put him aside. I'll probably use him. Now let me do the little witch. I have to do her at an angle. She's, well, let's see. Maybe she'll fit on here straight up and down. Just barely. Alright, let's see what we can do with her. I'll ink her once. And see how that image looks. It's not too bad. It could be better. And make sure I get all parts of her. did shadow a little bit there, it looks like, from my stamp. I forgot to wipe it off. Plus I've got ink on my fingers. And that one's better. Let me just wipe this off. I don't want to get any other things on here other than what I want. Let me set it right there for a minute while I wipe my fingers. Yeah, I still have ink on my fingers, but I don't think it'll come off. Let me ink her up again. And put it out here on some clean paper. That's a good image, so that's good. Yeah. Wipe her off. I'm not sure what I'm going to put on my stamp, on my card yet. I don't know whether I'll use the witch or the mummy or both. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the kettle. And I might do this magic wand. And maybe even the bat. See if I can do 3 at one time. That's something I've never tried before. So in the meantime, let me cut these 2 off, because those are not the ones I'm going to use. And then I can use the rest of this to stamp these on. I'm trying not to rock this so I don't get ink on my acrylic block. And let's see if I can stamp 3 at one time. Actually, that looks good on the first try. All 3 of them look good. So I don't think I'll do this another time because those look really good. Alright, so I've got those stamped. And I may do some of the candy. Let me do the lollipop. Because I'm thinking, all of a sudden I'm thinking candy. So that might be what ends up on my card. And again, I'm going to try all 3 and just see what happens. I'm going to use, since I'm going to use both of those, I'll use a different piece of scrap paper, just in case. Yeah, that looks pretty good, but I'm going to try it again. Actually, I'm going to try it again on here so I can have everything on the same piece of paper. There we go. So I've done all my stamping. Just clean everything off before I put it away. I was told when I started doing this that that was what I needed. A habit I needed to start was to put my stamp pad away as soon as I'm finished and to clean off my stamps and my block. So there, I've got those. I haven't done the sentiments yet because I'm not sure what I'm going to do. But I think I'm going to color in some of this. The little mummy, I'm going to leave him alone because mummies are usually white. I might add a little pencil on him. just to shadow a little bit. But I'm thinking, let's see, I'm going to use a black base and an orange matte. So I think I will color my little witch in maybe with the purple. I don't know how dark this purple is. Where's my scrap? This is, oh, that's too purple. Maybe not purple. Let me go check my markers and see what I have. Be right back. Okay, I'm back and I have colored my little pieces, the ones that I wanted to color. I colored some candy and the little magic wand and the witch and the mummy I left alone. And I left the bat alone because he's got black markings, and if I colored him black, then it would cover up his face and everything. So I didn't want to do that. So I just left him the way he was too. So now what I've decided to do is to put this on a black card. And this is a white core card. So the first thing I'm going to do is ink my edges with the black ink so that white core doesn't show. Let me do it this way. And those of you that are experienced card makers already know this, but I'm assuming that there are some people out here that might be new to card making and didn't realize that some cardstock has a white core. Of course, if you're using a white card, it doesn't really matter. But it's very simple to fix. All you need to do is just go over it with a little bit of black ink. And there's a couple places here where the white popped through, which was me not scoring it properly, but there. So now I have a totally black card, and it's an A2 size card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I am going to put a orange matte on here so that these will show up. And the matte is 1/4 inch smaller, so it's 4 inches by 5 1/4. And I don't think I'm going to put this on dimensions. I think I'm going to just put it on there the way it is. So I'm going to use my ATG gun and just run some glue down here. I'm going to go across each end so that all of the matte will stick. And then I'm going to line this up 1/8 of an inch from the edge all the way around. There. So there's my matte. Now I need to decide who I want to put on here. Do I want to put the ghost and the witch? Not the ghost, the mummy and the witch. I think I do. But let me arrange these. I'll put my little bat up here. And let me see if I can get the cauldron. I want to put just play with it the way you want it. And I think I'll put the magic wand in her hand. Just try to get things arranged, and then I'm just going to scatter some candy. Because to children, that's pretty much all Halloween is about, is the candy. So let me see. I could actually, well, no. Let me do just best witches. I'll put that on there, and I'll probably put that at the top, so I'll move these down. And I'm going to put these on dimensionals. And these are, well, let me see if I can use these. I got these because they weren't real big. I'm not going to take the back off yet. But I'm going to need to cut these down a little bit. Let me cut one of these, and actually I'll cut the excess here on the end. Put that up at the top of her hat. Rather than you waste a whole dimensional, I'll just cut these edges that would ordinarily be waste and use those. So I think I want her like right there. So I'm going to go ahead and place her. I didn't bring my little tool over here that I use to peel these off. They're over at my other desk, so forgive me. I think I'll just put her right there on a dimensional. And I think I will use, actually I'm going to again cut two pieces off of the edge to put on the cauldron. And that way you're not wasting anything, you're using all of it. I really need to, well, I guess I could use my needle tool. Where's my needle tool? Sorry for the silence. I have a tendency when I'm working to start thinking, which sometimes gets me in trouble. Alright, there's the cauldron. I'm just going to put this towards the bottom. And then I'll put my little mummy on here. And again, I'm going to take some pieces off the bottom of this. To put down on his legs, just to give them a little support. So let me put him on here. You may not want to see all this, but with my polymer clay videos, I get a lot of compliments on doing things in real time. So if you don't mind watching, some of my subscribers that are polymer clay people might need the extra instruction. So goodness. This has some little pieces. I think because this is so little, I'm going to just use my art glitter glue. Which I need to clean off. Since it's got the fine tip on it, I can control where that glue goes. Just putting my little pin back in my tip. And these aren't my good tweezers. Where are my tweezers? Here they are. Helps me get this where I want it if I use tweezers rather than my big klutzy fingers. And I'm just going to stick that like right there so that it looks like she's holding a magic wand. And I'm thinking the bat looked really good right there, so I'm going to leave him right there. I just didn't want to put him down till I was sure. And the little candies, I'm also going to use the art glitter glue. Just because they're so tiny, it would be much easier. And here I am squeezing with my left hand, so good luck everybody. Oops, it fell right on my card. And I got glue on it, so I guess I'll put the lollipop right there. Even though art glitter glue does dry clear, I'm afraid it would leave a little mark that you could see. So no problem, I just put something over it. These little pieces. First time, I'm fairly new to card making, so this is the first time I've used itty bitty little pieces. And there may be a better way of adhering these other than with the art glitter glue, but I don't know how, so I figured maybe somebody can tell me if there's a better way. Let's see, I don't want that going in the same direction, so let's do that. And then this candy can just go right there. So there's the candy. And I think I'm going to cut a little... Let me get my good scissors. These are my scissors I use for clay. I'm at my clay deck table. I apologize for that. There's not much light over at my other desk right now, so I just need something. I'm going to stamp a sentiment on this purple. And which one am I going to use? Did I say Best Witches, didn't I? Another thing I could have done, and I didn't, was to shade the edges of the mummy and the bat with some of this ink, but I didn't do that. So, Best Witches. Or maybe I'll do Happy Haunting, because that kind of goes more with the candy theme. And again, I'm going to stamp this on some scrap paper to make sure I can get a good stamp. These are really nice stamps. That one worked really good the first time. So let me stamp this near the bottom. I know this is upside down for you. Where's my baby wipe? wipe that off. And the ink I got on here. With a little practice, hopefully I'll get rid of this ink. But now I want to trim this. I'm going to just make it a thin banner. Make sure it looks fairly straight. I'm going to trim it off a little bit. And then I'm just going to make a little banner end on here, cutting up the middle, then from each corner up to that point, and it makes a real pretty little banner. And what I think I'll do, something that I saw on a video the other day, I'm going to put a dimensional in the middle, and then ATG on the ends. So it'll give it a little bit of dimension and yet still glue it down so it'll look like it's blowing in the wind. So just put that up there and push down the sides. And see how it looks dimensional. I'll also turn it around, because if I do this right, I will remember to flip this. So there's Happy Haunting with my little witch and my mummy and my bat. Let me close up my ink. And then you can, I'm going to leave the inside blank. I'll probably have to put another piece of paper. I'll probably get another piece of this orange that I used for the mat and put a sentiment on the inside as soon as I know who I'm going to give this to. So I hope you like this, and I will be back again for Tupelo Designs LLC, where shipping is always fast and free in the U.S. and discounted for international. And you can earn loyalty rewards that can be redeemed for free products. So you can't beat that. So join me again on Monday, next Monday, for another project. It'll probably be a polymer clay project. And I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye. Hi, I'm back. I got to looking at this card and it looked so plain. I decided I would dress it up a little bit with maybe some pan pastels. So that's what I'm using. I'm just using a little plunger, and this is a gray that I'm just kind of dabbing on just to give my little mummy a little bit of interest. He just was so plain. And I'm just going to rub that off. This is a stack of pan pastels that I bought, and it's hard to tell what color is which, but this, I think I want this green. Nope, that's the yellow. I never know which one to take apart. There's got to be a better way. Ooh, this one's broken up. But I thought what I would do here with the green is maybe do a little bit of smoke coming up from the kettle. It adds a little bit there. And I need to do something with my bat. I think what I could do with the bat, let me put this back on. Otherwise I'll have green pan pastel all over everything. I don't see any colors in here that would do well on my bat. So let me look at something else. Maybe some Perfect Pearls. And I will keep this separate. But I'm thinking I've got some pewter Perfect Pearls. And I've never used Perfect Pearls on paper. So this is going to be quite an experiment. Let me see if it sticks. Not too well. So I guess Perfect Pearls isn't going to be the way to go. I'm going to need something a little wetter. So let me see what else I have. I have some Inca Gold, but I don't think there's going to be anything in here. It's got some silver, but I don't think I want silver on my bat. So let me get my pencils. And let me find a nice gray maybe. This is platinum. That might work. Let me see if I have another gray. This is smoke. I think I like that one. So I'm just going to color a little bit on the inside where this wing is. And I believe I can, because this is gray instead of black, I'll be able to do his face and not cover up the features on his face. But I just felt like this card needed a little bit of something. It's just very plain, and I was really struggling with this. Like I said, I don't do Halloween to begin with, and I haven't done any cutesy cards. And I have to admit, this is cute, this stamp set. But I have to learn how to do the cutesy part of it. But that looks a little better. I like that better. So, okay, so I'm happy with that, and I think what I'm going to do is use my black Uniball Vision pens and find my thin one. And I think I'm just going to put some stitching around the outside, just to add a little bit of something, just because this was so plain. I'm not doing this very straight. I guess until I get used to doing this, I need something with a straight edge. So since I have my, no, I won't use that. Let me use my little ruler. And I'll just lay the ruler here to give me a guide. So I'll make these a little straighter. I'm sure I'll get better with practice. I've seen so many of you do some wonderful things with stitching. But this was such a cute stamp set and die set, I needed to use it. That looks much better. And the TupeloDesignsLLC people have been so generous with me. I figured the least I could do was make a video using some of the wonderful products they carry. I guess my little bat kind of overlaps the stitches here. Sorry for the silence, but I'm going to put a note on the beginning of this video to be sure to watch the part at the end, because I made some adjustments to my card. So hopefully those that watched this and thought it was totally boring will come back and hopefully see a little bit of change. But that looks better already. Just looking at the pan pastels, wondering how they're going to stay on this paper. I think they're fine. And I might put some stitching along this banner too. Just because it looked a little plain. I just was not happy with the card, and I don't want to make something and it look, you know, half done. So I was thinking about this. I went to bed last night. I filmed the rest of the video yesterday, and then I was thinking last night, I really need to do something else with that card. And you know, when it bothers you when you go to bed, it means you really need to do something. Where I have my dimension, so I'm not getting quite as good a stitch mark. There. And I may even, I know I've seen little swirls. I may, let me see, if I do a little swirl from my bat, just to kind of show that he's been moving. I'm not really sure. Probably ought to do one in pencil. And then go over it with some little dots. Just to show that he is moving. Now I'm much happier with this card. I don't know if you can see it very well, the whole card. When I get closer you can't see it, but this is much better. I'm much happier with this card than I was before. So sorry I didn't do this before I ended my video, but I hope you all understand I'm a learning card maker. So any suggestions you could leave me also would help me tremendously, because like I said, I've never done any cutesy cards. Even my Christmas cards are more serious cards and religious type cards, so I need to learn how to do these cards too. So I appreciate you watching. I thank you for hanging in there with me, and I will be back on Monday with another polymer clay project. Thanks. Bye-bye.